Is maintaining your Hispanic cultural heritage important to you?
Yes, it is important to me because I feel like it's good to know, where you came from, and knowing where you came from and knowing who raised you and the way they raised you and knowing your roots, it just really allows you to know where you want to go in life and what things you want to keep that are very important from your culture and everything, and what things you may adapt later in life and in another culture.
Yeah. Okay. Has maintaining your cultural heritage become more easier or more difficult?
I feel like it's become more difficult because a big important piece of the Hispanic community is, families staying together. I know that when you marry and everything, one part of the family goes and builds, like a community around each other. Like it's a whole family that sticks together. And here it's hard to do that because you move away like 4 or 8 hours away, or you go to college and you go to college like 7 or 9 or even a day or 2 or 3 away. So it's just, it becomes difficult for families to stick together, and that's a big thing in the Hispanic culture.
Have you found any obstacles in trying to maintain your Hispanic heritage in the community?
One of the biggest obstacles that I would say is maintaining your language, your native language, like Spanish, for example, for us Hispanics. I feel like you go to school and you learn English and everything, and it's what you're going to need to talk to here and everything. But then again, whenever you meet somebody that can't and they see you and everything and you're not able to help and everything, communication nowadays is a big deal. And we have many interpreters. Like I work in a doctor's office and I have many interpreters that come in and interpret, like different languages and stuff. And it's very important because not everybody knows every single language, and just being able to keep up with that, I think, and not being able, is an obstacle because you don't learn it a lot here and everything. So it depends a lot at home and everything. And sometimes, like for example, I have a 15-year-old brother that speaks it, but it takes him a little bit. Like he doesn't speak it fluently, like very declared and stuff like that. So it comes a little harder to understand. Like he understands it, but at the same time, I feel like we're slacking on the fact that they're not learning it fully and correctly, and how to read and write it and all that stuff and comprehend it.
How do you maintain your Hispanic cultural heritage?
I would say, well, first of all, we maintain it because we don't eat like American traditional foods. Like, mom will make tortillas and stuff like that. And then in the morning for breakfast and everything, you prepare your eggs differently. And then we'll do refried beans in the morning and stuff like that, with plantain or something. Just like as far as foods go, we maintain it. As far as when we're together in a group and everything, we listen to a different kind of music and stuff like that. Just a different aspect of how we maintain it. And also, in some families, you don't speak directly to your parents, and some of them may feel like it's a big deal to look them in the eye or something like that, and they're like, or if you respond back to your parents and stuff like that, which I know that's still kind of, but it's a really big deal with the Hispanic kind of thing.
Okay. Have you seen Salisbury change since you moved here?
Me, myself, I've lived here my whole entire life, almost. So I don't know a lot about any changes, but I know that on my parents' behalf, they'd probably have to say that there has been a big population growth in the community, and a lot of commercial growth. There's bigger stores and stuff like that, and also there is a lot of more diversity because now there's a lot of student classmates that I go to school with, oh yeah, I know somebody that's from a different country or a different place and stuff like that. So there is a lot of more diversity today. So I think there's been a lot of growth.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So going back to question number 2, can you explain another way that's more difficult to maintain your cultural heritage?
Yes, I would think this past summer I got to go to El Salvador, and I got to see how a lot of the people there dressed and stuff like that, which a lot of the younger girls and everything, they just dress normal like we do, except they're always wearing tank tops and stuff because it's like super hot there. You feel like the heat's gonna eat your skin. But other than that, a lot of the like older ladies and stuff like that, and like the ladies that are moms and stuff, you notice that a lot of them wear like skirts and like dresses or something like that. Maybe because it's a lot more cooler because you can feel the breeze. But not only that, I feel like it was I was even looking at pictures of like my aunt and my dad and stuff like that, and they dress like, you know, very like very modest dress wise, because and even like uniforms, like in El Salvador, a lot of the schools and stuff and everything, the girls wear uniforms, and you'll always see them wearing like skirts and the long like socks all the way up to their ankles and stuff like that. So I feel like it's expressed a lot more that, you know, girls wear like more of the skirts and the dresses and stuff like that, and the boys are the ones that wear kind of like the pants and stuff like that. And I noticed that a lot in like my grandmother too, because a lot more of her clothes consist of that. Even in El Salvador, all I ever saw her wear was skirts and everything. And then when she comes here,
It stopped. My battery. Oh, it's still going.
Oh, and then when she comes here, like, she'll wear like the pants and everything else, but also because it's cold too. So I feel like your culture almost sometimes clashes with where you live too. That's how you adapt.